All right. Well, welcome everyone. Thrilled to have you here. And Dance Teacher Web, we always like to partner and coordinate with great people, great organizations, great businesses. And Love Michael is doing some amazing things. And really happy today to have two great people, not just great people, but also, I'm happy to say, good friends, Mark Bondi, who's the executive director of Love Michael, and also a former, not a former, he is a musician, but had five music studios, so understands that whole dynamics of working obviously with kids, students, and the parents. So that's always a fun and challenging dynamic there. And also Gio Hubela, who is also a fantastic dancer, dance teacher. He and his wife have a studio in Manalapan, New Jersey, iconic dance. And it's he's been doing it for 19 years now, right? Time flies when you're having a good time.
Yes.
So, Mark, why don't I hand it off to you? You can kind of get it going. Uh, give folks just a little outline about yourself and what Love Michael's all about.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Steve. Thanks for putting this together, and Gio, thanks for being here. And hey, Hetty, long time no see.
Hi. Mhm.
Great to see you.
Eddie rocks.
Hetty invited me to participate in one of her calls last night, which was fantastic. So thanks for having me, and thanks for being here. Hetty will probably be able to tell my story after this. She just heard it. But
No, I'm here to support my three favorite guys.
love it. Love it. Awesome. Well, yeah. So, Steve, just give everybody a quick background and kind of the pathway here. I'll start where I am and then go back and make it a full circle. But yeah, I'm currently with an organization that's helping dance studios raise funds in a really unique way. It's a charity called Love Michael. And it helps to improve the lives of adults on the autism spectrum. And the path here has been an interesting one. I started as a musician. Music and the arts are so critically important to me, and their ability to connect to youth and inspire them to see their true potential. And I think there's obviously a natural connection because I'm a drummer and you're all dancers, and we need each other. So I make beats to make people dance. So yeah, I had a really interesting, I think, journey as a musician. Was like playing constantly, like 250 shows a year for many years, about 10 years. And then literally got discovered by someone walking into a club, said, "Hey, I like the way you play." And then the next thing I knew, I was recording John Legend's Once Again record, and that went platinum. And so that was really a cool experience for me. Kind of got my feet wet in the recording world. And but kind of at the same time, I have two children, and I was getting to the point where I didn't really want to be on the road as much anymore. And I got involved in School of Rock. And School of Rock is so similar to a dance studio, right? We have the same, sort of parent customer and the student customer. They are labor intensive businesses. Most of the folks that are doing it started with such a passion for dance. Same with School of Rock, they had passion for music, and they wanted to turn that passion into a project and their business. So all the challenges that come along with that. So I really have a deep understanding of that local based business and community based business side of things. And so that path into School of Rock was fantastic because it allowed me to marry my love of music and business, and then let me kind of watch my kids grow up, which was really cool. So the schools, I used to have five schools on the East Coast, two in New Jersey and three in New York. And then the company got bought by private equity, and they asked me to come on and help them scale it. I had some really successful ones in the chain, and I moved out to Chicago, and we scaled them to about 160 locations in 6 countries. And then they wanted to move it to LA, and I didn't want to move again and do that. So I just figured I had a little bit of a knack for business at this point. Became their head of operations and head of marketing. And I went and did a rebrand of a company that was working in team fundraising. And that's where kind of brings me into what I'm doing right now. I think for the most part, 99.9% of all fundraisers are just awful, right? Like no one wants to do that. And I think that what we've done at Luv Michael is taking a really beautiful mission and married that with the art of fundraising. And through that process, we help dance studios raise money, and they help our charity help a really vulnerable community. And so I'll just share that with you now about Luv Michael. So it was founded by very dear friends of mine who are Michael's parents. And he's a young man on the autism spectrum who, like so many young adults, as they grow up, they grow into a world that's not very understanding of autism beyond childhood. So they really struggle in a couple areas. One being finding meaningful work. The other, for the folks that we work with, we tend to work with folks on the spectrum who are high support needs. So they need somebody with them pretty much 24/7. And for parents of those children, now young adults, their biggest challenge, their biggest question is, who's going to be there for our children when we're no longer here, right? So I've had parents say that to me. I need to live one day longer than my child. And so Luv Michael actually functions in what I would call three legs of a stool that hold it all up. And I'll just share my screen, Steve. So it might illustrate what we're working on. We'll call it the Luv Michael world. So training and employment, we have a bakery. We make a really amazing granola product. We use that to teach job skills to adults on the spectrum. It's a paid job. Everybody makes $17 an hour and up, and they're learning by doing. Um, there's another piece to this, which is independent living beyond the lifetime of the parent. That's actually where I'm talking to you from now. Right now, out on the east end of Long Island, we operate 3 homes for 9 young men and women. And we're looking to scale that across the country. We think we have a scalable model that can really bring a life of independence and joy and safety to those folks. And then the third piece where this whole fundraising thing came out, and I'm excited to talk to Gio about this because he was our first. It's really such a cool success story, and I'm so thankful to him for doing this with us. But the advocacy and education of the community is critical. So yes, we can provide training for these young men and women. Yes, we can provide a living environment that's safe. But there has to be some component of education in the world for the world to become welcoming to this community. And I think we found an interesting way to do that through fundraising. So that's sort of my path up to here, and I kind of get into the nuts and bolts of how we're doing it on the fundraising side, but definitely want to pause and maybe throw it back to you, Steve. But that's sort of been my journey here to that brings me here today. It started in the arts. It's still in the arts. I will forever be a musician and lover of the arts, and then marrying that with a passion to serve a community that I think is now it's impacting 1 in 36 families. So for all of us, it's hard to find somebody more than 1 degree of separation from being impacted by the situation.
Yeah, and I have to say the granola is fantastic too. It is so good. I mean, it really, really, really tastes so good. So why don't I kick it over to Gio now? Gio's had really a lot of success with this, and as Mark said, he was that kind of founding studio to use this as a fundraiser. And the beautiful part of this, folks, is that think about it. You're not only helping, right, serve a special needs community, but you're also helping your families raise funds, right? And these funds can be used for really, as we know, with any fundraiser at a studio, for anything. Families can potentially use this for tuition, competition fees, um, a multitude of things, right? That they could use these particular funds. So it's a win-win. It's a win for you because you as a studio owner, a lot of this, and Mark will talk about this, how easy it is for you to start this at the studio. You're going to hear the success that Gio had with this, but it also is something that tastes good. So people aren't going to get it and be like, oh my God, this stuff's terrible. So Gio, why don't you tell everybody just a little bit about your journey and the success you had with this.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. And thank you, Steve and Mark, for having me on. I just I agreed immediately to come on board today and speak with Mark and Steve about this because um, I love the whole process of what Luv Michael was about. Obviously, I was working with Mark a little bit on the National Dance Foundation, so we had got to know each other, and then we were at a lot of the shows together, and I learned a lot more about Luv Michael and what it was about, and Mark would tell me about it, and just to cut right to the chase, the best thing about it, I think, is how streamlined it is. Because when it comes to fundraising, it's tough, and it's just the process seemed very, very simple in a way. And everything just kind of worked from the branding of it to one of my favorite aspects of the whole fundraising journey was the app and the leaderboard. I love that. I always tell Mark that. I love the leaderboard and the way people create their profiles, and you could see who's in the lead, and that just kind of made it a lot of fun. So I think for me, that was one of my favorite parts. Planning a Zoom with the studio, getting everybody. Not many people actually showed up to the original meeting, but just sent out some email blasts through Jackrabbit. And the night that we signed up, we had just like an influx of people come in. And the way we did that, me and Mark discussed that, was we talked about incentives, obviously. So I did an incentive for the night of the launch, which was a hoodie, an icon hoodie for the studio. And I think we did another prize. It was something else, but we did a hoodie and
The big one was,
then
I
yeah,
always, well, you
four,
tell one because it was brilliant.
four front row seats at the recital. And that was like a big, that was a great incentive for people to go out and, you know, say, hey, I want to like get involved in this and make it. So, but the also everyone was really like, I think, invested. I think they love the message. I think they love what Luv Michael was about, and the story, and that it was for a good cause. Going on to other reasons, that it's a great way. We've done some fundraising in the past, and I think one of our parents had started their own nonprofit, and everyone was wondering where the money was going, and it was like, are they stealing money? And it just caused a lot of drama. Um, and we sort of stepped away from any kind of fundraising because it just became a very big, we couldn't manage it because we have so much going on at the studio. And then you have parents that are in charge of it, and then everybody starts to question. So it was a tough thing. So this was great because you receive the funds, you know what you're getting, and then everyone is getting their own individual share. I don't know if people know about that, Mark, but
Right.
if sometimes, like you say, you raise $25,000 at a studio and one kid raised 20 of it and the rest of the studio raised five, but it's all dispersed evenly. And that's okay. But with this fundraising is that whatever you raise, you get. It's split 50-50, and then that amount what you raise is allocated to you until Luv Michael evenly. And you receive a report of that, and then we're able to disperse those funds to our parents, right into their accounts, and it's great. It's just streamlined. It's easy. It's for a great cause. It's fun. A lot of people are on their phone, and instead of hopping on social media, you're able to get on Luv Michael and create your profile and contact all your friends and your family and tell them it's for a great cause and it's supporting their dance career in the moment. And it's a lot of fun. So we weren't the original studio to do it. I know that, but I think we were.
You were like the first five that did it, and it really broke. You're the first one to do the incentive, and
Kind of like come up with creative ways. And I told Mark, I think I told you our goal was 25,000. Like, we're gonna hit 25,000. He was like, "Oh my God, that would be amazing." And we ended up hitting 43 or
3, yeah. So it was
Awesome.
really cool, and it was happening like really fast. And it was like, why is my phone going off so much? So it was just super cool to see that. And Gio kind of talked about some of the like the nuts and bolts of like how it works, and just to share with y'all, like we were really focused on making it no work for you all. Like, we really understand how much is on your plates of running a business like this. It's 24/7, it's nonstop. And that's not lost on me or anyone here at the team. So we wanted to make sure that if you were to participate in this, that you just pick a date and a time, and then we take care of the rest. And so the process really was like what Gio said. We picked a date and a time. We sent out an invitation for Gio to share with the families. We had some of those folks come on the call, but then I also provided them a recording and a step-by-step on how to do it if they didn't make it, because, right, it's like herding cats to get someone to come on a call, right? So we wanted to make sure there was a way for those families to participate if they couldn't make the call. And then the incentive part makes it fun, because it's really simple to screenshot the leaderboard and say, hey, this person's doing great. And, we've got VIP seats to the recital. And I don't have to tell you, those dance parents are competitive. They want to win, whatever it is. They just want to win. So, it sort of plays on that. The piece that I want to share with y'all is that, this is where community service and fundraising come together. And what we wanted to provide to the students was something extra special that only we can do, which is every student that participates receives a certificate from Luv Michael for 10 hours of community service, because what they're doing, and what I'll share with y'all, and maybe it's good for me, Steve, to just share my screen one more time, is they come to that call, and on that call, we give them a little bit of a quick fire education on how to be a better friend to the autism community. And it doesn't take more than 30 seconds for people to just open their minds and say, oh yeah, I mean, if you said autism to me 5, 6 years ago, I would have immediately thought about a kid, right? And it's just because that's what happens, right? So, but it doesn't take much to flip that switch. And once you do, then you sort of start to see this community a little bit differently. So, so our goal is we bring folks onto a very quick presentation. We walk them through some rapid fire sort of facts that once people know, they can't not know, right? So 1 in 36 kids are being diagnosed. After 22, you lose most of your state-funded education services. They either stop or they change, and parents call that falling off the cliff. What's happening is you've got 90% of this community basically unemployed, and these young men and women are sitting in their parents' houses, and they once had all this way to engage, and now they don't. And it's for folks who don't associate autism and special needs with adults. What do they normally do? They just kind of back away, right? So that's what we're trying to change is, can we inspire people to take a step towards this community, to smile, to say hello, those sorts of things. So we did walk people through a very quick presentation and say most of what's happening here is simply because you don't see it beyond childhood, and we need your voices. And fundraising is talking to people, but you're usually talking about chocolate bars and candles. So what if instead of your kids going out there and asking people to buy things, if they were to share some important information? And our technology makes it really simple. So we just create a team page for your studio, and each family has their own campaign page with their own link. We give them a message to share that says, I'm doing a service project with my studio, and I learned some important things about adults on the spectrum, and I want to share it with you. So imagine that message, right, coming from a niece or a nephew to Uncle Steve, right? Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, you have that person's ear. They list out a few things they learned on the call, and we provide them with the message, and they say, hey, we partnered with Luv Michael, and if you'd consider supporting me, 50% supports my studio. The rest goes to support the Luv Michael Charity. We're a 501c3. 2025 is our 10-year anniversary. So to Gio's point, people have a lot of confidence in that. Our technology is integrated with Apple Pay and PayPal, so it's very simple. And then I'll leave you with this, because I think this is the most beautiful part. When the person makes a donation, they're not buying anything. Your kids aren't selling anything. But what they have done is created a paid job for someone on the Luv Michael team, because our team gets the honor of thanking your donor. And we do it in a very special way. So someone on our team will handwrite the person a thank you card. We hand make them some of the Luv Michael granola, which is awesome. And then we package it up with information about how that person can be a better friend to the community. We ship that to the person's door. There's no shipping charges for that, because that's the other thing that's happening in fundraising. They hit your donors in the cart for $15 of shipping. So it's not really, this is really a 50-50. And there's so much learning at every level. We run the campaigns for 2 weeks and we give you a check at the end with a spreadsheet breakdown by participant and an impact report, let you know how many cities you've reached. And we never know who your kids are connected to. And that's the beauty of it. And I can tell you, like, we got connected through to Kohl's department store, and they've become like a major supporter of Luv Michael because somebody was connected to someone there who said, hey, this is interesting. And so there's this exponential effect. And, you know, the name Luv Michael, it's really everything we do is about gratitude. You know, when Mike would make the granola in the beginning, his mom was like, he'll just eat it all if I let him. So he would give it away to his family and friends, and he would sign his name, Luv Michael, sort of his appreciation. And that's his gift to the world. So it's, you know, it's a really beautiful circle. And I think there's a lot of power here to take something that we probably all don't like to do, and turn it into something incredibly positive. That's a win on both sides. And so yeah, that's what we're excited to share with y'all.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it. And that journey that you take the parents through and the students through is incredible. It really, really is incredible. So so if folks want to sign up for this, what's the process, Mark? How quickly can they do the onboarding, get started with this?
It's super fast. Like, it literally is, you pick a date and time and I send you the invitation, and that's it. And we invite you send that invitation to your families. They come to the call. We walk them through a presentation. Their campaign goes live right there. They run it for 2 weeks. We can always adjust the time for you if you'd like. And then we send you your check and a spreadsheet breakdown. The kids get their certificates electronically. The program's recognized for the President's Volunteer Service Award. So they're like nationally recognized service hours. We send out our grad cords like once a month. We do that special and send them out. But yeah, it's right away. And so the way to do it is I'll actually drop a link in the chat, and then I'll put up a QR code too, because I know we're filming this. But if anybody's interested, and I see a few familiar faces out there, and who have already booked calls with me, which is awesome. I'm talking to Jennifer later today, which is great. And so you can click that link, and it'll actually connect you to set up a quick call, and we can figure out your date and time, and I can answer any questions for you.
And that page you create, they just send you the logo of the studio. You build
Yeah,
it into the
and
page.
they want to. If you want to brand it, we can brand it. However, we can put up your logo. We can do it as Luv Michael, whatever you like. That's all customizable. And the thing I want to share, because Gio and I are also both on the board of National Dance Foundation, and we're doing something really special with them, Steve, that I think is important to share. It's only with dance studios. So when a dance studio raises funds with us, Luv Michael gives 50% to the studio. Luv Michael takes 45%, and we hold 5% to donate to National Dance Foundation. And National Dance Foundation is focused on three things. It's kindness, inclusion, and community. And with the funds that we raise through Luv Michael, that 5% goes to NDF to provide instruction for teachers to work with dancers with special needs. And we do that through Trisha Gomez's program with RhythmWorks. And the other thing that we do, I love doing it every year, my wife and I go, but we work with the NBA and do some pregame dances that are inclusive, and everybody, gets together and does that. So in working with us, we're also trying to put those dollars back into the dance world, but for a very specific reason. At the core of this, yes, your studio is going to raise funds. I'm very confident of that. But your kids are going to have an exercise in empathy and understanding, because with 1 in 36 kids being diagnosed, you can be guaranteed that there will be folks in your studios who are impacted this. Either they are going to be on the spectrum themselves, or they're going to have siblings on the spectrum. And the more empathy you can build in your building, the more comfortable those folks can feel that they're included, right? So the things that we do are to build empathy and understanding through all touch points and aspects of what we do.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Absolutely incredible. And folks, if you have any questions that you want to ask, you can put it in the chat and we can answer the questions. If you want to unmute to jump on for a quick question as well, feel free to do so. Hetty has her hand up. Hello there, Hetty.
Hi, Steve. You know I have questions, but I've been thinking about this for 24 hours. So I'm already scheming how to do this at my studio. Question for Gio. When you got your 50%, did all of that go directly to the kids, or was it studio holding on to any of it for your own needs, meaning like your teachers go into competition or whatever your thing was?
Oh, we didn't. We allocated every dollar to the kids. So if Mary raised 500, she got that 500, and my mom, you get one check, and then my mom just did all the accounting and went into Jackrabbit and dispersed the funds to each kid, and then they use it how they want. They could use it to comp fees and to whatever. So I know we talked about like doing like another 5% back to the studio for running it. And there's obviously, like Mark can talk to you about that, is there's so many ways you can get creative with it, with the prizes, with the fundraising, having a board when you walk in the studio with the QR code right on the desk so they can go right on their phone and do that. There's like really great ways that you can just bring more awareness to it with the email blast and social media. And again, it's everything that we're doing on the everyday. So it's just really the creativity is really up to you and how much you want to do with it. So
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. And as long as you're like, Hetty, we even said that last night, right? As long as you tell folks, hey, this is what we're doing. That's it.
Exactly. Be very, yeah. I really feel that because my kids don't compete. So like the tickets for the show, Geo, banger, great idea to do the highest sales, get the tickets. That wouldn't work in my studio because we're non-competitive. And when I say we're non-competitive, they don't care about anything. However, if I did like tiers and said, okay, everybody that participated brought in at least, $100, they would be put into a raffle for a hoodie. This next tier would be raffle for, and the ultimate would be that, because I don't feel like my studio, because we're so different. But yes, I love the incentives, but I have to do it probably tier like, because some people will say, I'll never get those tickets. I'll never sell $1,000, and they'll be like negative about it. But hey, I might get that hoodie. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. This is what I was thinking last night. But I definitely think the studio should, for me, my studio, because we don't compete, I think that there should be all in, transparent, that 10% will go to the studio for whatever. The teachers going to the events, because, we pay for the teachers to go to the events.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that be very successful, Hetty. So it's like we said, it's so flexible and we give you that check, right? So that's all up to you. I'll even, while we're at, I'll leave that up here too. Sorry, Gio. I'll just put this up for folks if they want to scan it. They can do that. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was going to say, Hetty, like with a non-competitive studio, even is to make teams within your studio, classes or teams. And then instead of it being an individual fundraiser, even though it is, those 10 kids make up a group and then they get a free pizza party or.
Yes. Love it. Love that.
That's the limit with ideas and how creative you get with it.
Yeah. Great. Thanks. A great idea.
Can I ask a question to Gio? When you said you put the QR code in like at the entrance, are you saying like the QR code, if just anyone else like walking into the studio, if they're, dropping off their grandson or whatever, and they just wanted to just do it specifically just to the studio and not to an actual kid? Is that what you mean by the QR code? Or when they get there, will they see a student?
Yeah, just like accessibility, when they walked in and saw like right on the desk, there's a thing, like a little board with the QR code that they could scan. And there were people, honestly, like you just said, it was a great point. They would come in and like say to my mom at the desk, say, hey, I want to be part of this, but can I just donate it back to the studio?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a possibility. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a team donate link. So all the individuals. Yeah. So there'll be people who send it out peer to peer, right? Like this is Johnny's, this is Mary's. She's sending it out to their family. They donate through their unique link, but it also gives you a studio link. And then I think for Geo, we also had, for people who didn't make the call, you could join the team as a campaign, right? You could start your peer to peer campaign. You just scan it and it took you onto the team.
Got it. Awesome.
That's
Great.
great. And you can use that link on social media and
Yeah.
all of that, which is great.
Right. And then that could be the team one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Definitely use that on social, your reels. And then for the kids, like the text is super powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we always say to the parents, like when the people donate to it, because the kids are not on Facebook, but the parents usually are, like tag the person and thank them. And then you'll see the mutual friends will see, oh, this person did, and it's the wheel.
No, it's great.
Awesome.
Hey, look,
Thank you.
as we all know, no one's looking for additional work, like Mark said, but this is something that's so streamlined and well thought out and done. So it's kind of a turnkey, done for you system to put in place, and that's what makes this so attractive. Aside from all the other great stuff that it's helping a great cause, that it's going to raise money, that the again, I don't want to keep circling back, not that I'm just thinking about the granola, but it really is delicious. It's such good stuff. I mean, it really, really is good. So nobody's going to get it and be like, oh my God, this is terrible granola. Does anybody else have any other questions before we know your time is very valuable? So we want to make sure that we get the most out of this. Mark, so we have the link over there, also the QR code, which was on the player. After this, you're going to be getting an email. You can rewatch this. If you want to scan this code, the QR code, you'll be able to do that from the video player. And Mark, why don't you put it up one more time, just so folks have it as I'm saying it. So if you are watching the recording of this, or you happen to have your phone, you're on your laptop, just scan that and you can quickly, that's going to take you where, Mark, this QR code?
Yeah, so this will take you to a little form to fill out, and then you drop your information in there, and it'll help you book a time to connect with one of us on the team. And it's just a quick short call, and we can decide on your launch date, and you can ask any questions, but that'll bring you right in to connect with us and pick a time that's best suited for you. Oh, by the way,
look,
watches any day of the week, weekend, evening, whatever. We know it's, Sunday nights seem to be really popular.
and we know this is the time of year too, right? The time for giving, holiday season coming up.
Yeah.
Beautiful time of year to do some fundraising. People are in that generous giving spirit. So this is a great time. And, look, some families do need additional help. And like Hetty said, look at, if you want to take a portion of this and roll it back into your studio, there's nothing wrong with that either. Absolutely. This could be a fundraiser. This could even just be a fundraiser for the studio, if that's what you choose to do. The idea here is that you get a community, that it pulls people together, that you're helping a worthy cause, and it's something that's been very well thought out and is streamlined and plug and play and ready to go. Guys, you want to give any parting words before we go? Gio?
I just want to say, first of all, it's great to see all of you. This is a great thing and a great incentive for the studio, for the kids. It's for a great cause. Because we had so much success with it, that one year I even spoke to Mark, and I believe it was Michael was it Michael that made the message, or was one of the
Jonathan? Yeah, he did a really
yeah video message. I brought the girl that raised the most money up on stage at the recital, talked about the family, and they did really incredible. Her dad was a contractor in New York City, and he had subcontractors just handing him checks when they found out what this was about. And she raised so much money. And we brought her on stage and we recognized the family, and then we played the message on the video screen. And it was special because it brought more awareness to what this is. And it also let the entire studio, it wasn't just the comp kids involved with this. This was the whole studio. And anyone can get involved. So I hope you do it. I hope you have luck with it. And again, it's for a great cause. So good luck and happy holidays.
That's awesome. And Gio, thank you, and Steve, thank you for letting me share this story and participating, and Hetty and all of you here. Wish you a really Merry Christmas and happy holiday season. I'll close it out with Jonathan. I'll share a video of Jonathan the day he got hired, and I think it'll sum it up perfectly.
So today we would like to invite Stephen up to offer you a full uniform.
Oh, really? Really?
To get a job as a sales ambassador for Luv Michael. Okay.
Thanks, man. This is really happening.
This is really
This is not a dream, is it?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Sarah.
Do you want me to pinch you so that you know?
Okay. This is my first paycheck from Luv Michaels. I love you guys so much. Thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Wow. That's nothing else to say, folks. Listen, everybody, happy holidays. Sending you out lots of love. Hope to see you all soon. Do this. It'll be a win-win for your studio, and it'll be a win-win for the community at large. All right, everybody. All the best. Sending you lots of love. Guys, thanks so much. Take care, everybody.